Hey folks, this is Riker with a Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls guide on how to know what difficulty you should be playing the game on in order to maximize your efficiency. Now, this won't apply to instances in which you're not playing the game as intended. So it's not going to apply to stuff like farming chests on Torment 6, in which you're clearly exploiting some game mechanic in a way that the developers don't really want you to be playing the game. But this will apply to playing through the campaign, doing bounties, doing rifts, anything in which you're actually killing monsters over an extended period of time. Now, the short answer is to play on a difficulty at which you're not struggling. You're progressing through the content at a rapid pace, and basically killing white monsters instantaneously in 1 to 2 shots max. That's going to be an easy ballpark to go by. Now, if you want a little more in-depth guidance on when you can increase difficulty or why the math works out this way, then listen on. So we're going to turn to a graph that I've mocked up here, and what we can see on this graph is how different mechanics operate as we increase difficulty. Now, these numbers are drawn from what Blizzard has provided, while the third graph is my own calculation. So what we observe is that as we increase difficulty, the rewards increase, so gold and XP increases at a gradual pace, but monster health increases at a far faster rate, at an accelerating rate. As you can see, by the time we're hitting the late torments, it's shooting up much faster than the gold and XP rewards. Monster health is an approximation for how long it takes to kill a monster. If a monster has 3 times as much health, it's going to take about 3 times as long to kill, right? Well, in fact, it's even going to take longer than that as we go up in difficulties, because what this does not factor in is that monsters will be dealing more damage as well. So the build you're going to be using will have to spec more for survivability and less for efficiency and progressing through content, be it DPS, be it move speed. So, given monster health is an approximation for time required to kill a monster, then we can very easily plot the reward over time. Reward being gold and XP, which increases at the same rate. And even drop rates can be included here as well. We don't know the math on legendary drops. We do know that between normal and master, there is no increase in legendary drop rate. Starting at Torment 1, you start to unlock a legendary drop rate buff. We don't know what that number is, Blizzard hasn't told us. However, a leaked screenshot from beta shows that Torment 1 gave a plus 250% buff to legendary drop rate. That puts it about in line with the reward for gold and XP. In fact, it's a little under that. So for our purposes here, we're gonna make an assumption, and it's a big assumption, but no one has the data to give us an accurate rate at this point. We're going to make the assumption that legendary drop rate also increases at the same rate that gold and XP does. Now, legendary drop rate aside, I combine this all into reward over time because reward will include gold, drops, XP. All of this will help you amass power, and all that power will translate into better drops in the future regardless. XP translates into Paragon levels translate into power. Gold translates into crafting translates into power. So, reward over time decreases at a significant rate as we increase the difficulty. As you can see here, there's a huge drop off between hard and expert, and that's because between hard and expert, at hard difficulty, monsters have 200% health. On expert, they have 320. But the reward bonus between hard and expert is only 25%. On hard, you have 75% extra gold. On expert, 100% extra gold. There's a huge gap, a huge discrepancy in the way monster health and reward scales, and that is the reason why it is more efficient to play on a lower difficulty. That said, there is one caveat, and that's if you can progress through normal at a rate that is so fast that you feel you can progress through hard at the same rate, that's when you want to start increasing your difficulty. And for that, we'll actually turn to another chart to give a more specific answer. I think this is something that no one has really done the math on, and I'll admit that the math here is sketchy. The calculations are correct, but there's a lot of assumptions being made, again, based on how rewards scale, specifically with regards to legendary drops, and because we're only basing ourselves on monster health. That said, if you want to increase difficulty, then you can do a rough calculation, and that would be that take a bounty run, or take 1 hour of gameplay on normal, see how much you can progress through. How many bounties can you do, or how much content. You wanna be able to repeat the same content, be it a rift, be it a number of bounties. Get some form of barometer that you can measure between different difficulties. If 1 hour of normal content can be progressed through on hard in about 67 minutes, then it is equally efficient to play on hard and normal. I'll repeat. Given the same amount of content progressed through, if you can do it on hard in 67 minutes and on normal in 60 minutes, you are being equally efficient in both difficulty modes. Now that 67 figure again is an approximation. Ideally, you only want to bump up that difficulty if you feel you can do it in under 67 minutes. Likewise, when we jump over to expert, if you can progress through that content in about 80 minutes or less, then it becomes more efficient to play on expert. Master, about 85 minutes, and Torment 1, 90 minutes. So Torment 1 is when the increase becomes about 33%. So if it's taking you 33% longer to complete that content on Torment 1 than on normal, then by all means do it on Torment 1 and you'll be just as efficient, because at that point the reward has come in line with the time to completion, the time required to complete whatever it is, be it killing monsters, completing bounties, completing quests, or all of that combined. Normally, on T1, monsters have 1,300% health, so it would normally take you 13 times as long to progress through that content than on normal. Why then am I suggesting that you do this? Well, at some point on normal, you're going to be overkilling. You're going to be doing so much damage that you're more than one-shotting white mobs, you're one-shotting and then some. So if your damage is so high that you're more than one-shotting mobs, then that's a lot of wasted DPS. So you start scaling up the difficulty, again, roughly until you're able to 1 to 2 shot white mobs. Well, that wraps up this guide. If you'd like to see more in the future, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe for more Diablo 3 and tabletop RPG content, including Reaper of Souls guides, RPG quick tips, character and campaign ideas, and live recorded Dungeons & Dragons sessions.